Dear Earthmates, now in this episode of Earth Civilization Dialogues, we are visiting Poland. Our host is Anna Nasilowska, whom I've had the pleasure and honor of meeting thanks to PEN International, the Writers Association, World Writers Association. And dear Anna, you and I, we met at various congresses, conferences, and I have this impression that you are an observer.
Yes, to be observer, it is a duty of writer. You don't feel like this? Yeah.
That is right. That's right.
If you observe, if you hear, you can write.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when did your love with literature, your love in literature start? How did it develop?
Oh, I felt very early that it's my strong, and I can write. And I was a great reader as a child. I was very ill for 2 or 3 months. I was in hospital. So what I did, I read many books. I read all books from my house, books of my father. Not all, because he read in many languages, in German, in Russian, and other in English too. And at the moment, I felt me small.
And you teach Polish literary history, I guess.
Yes, my book is History of Polish Literature in 1 volume.
Wonderful.
Yes, because no other way. It will be my life achievement.
Wonderful. I hope if it has not been translated into English,
it will be translated. Just come information that the book has a grant for translation. Naturally, it will take many time for achieve this moment.
Wonderful. And when I think about Poland, I can't help thinking that the Polish people, you have had a difficult history, full of challenges, and in my humble literary life, I've referred to Polish history at least twice. One of them, the Warsaw Uprising
yes.
During the Second World War.
It was a dream, an invention, yeah.
Yeah, and in one of my plays, I referred to the 17th century political interaction between Poland and the Ottoman Empire. Very interesting.
Yes, big history.
Yes.
Of relation, Polish-Turkish.
Yes, yes. And of course, Andrzej Wajda, a great film director. His critical films about the let's say, the Soviet times, etc. And I have never had a chance to visit your country yet. I hope one day I will be able to. We'll see. What are some of the things you would like to mention about some of the anecdotes in your life or moments in Polish history and the present?
Yes, the present is difficult because, and it touched me very personally because in 80s I supported solidarity movement. We was fighting for democracy, and now we face another problem. This democracy goes more and more to authoritarian regime. The name of the party at power now is Love and Justice, but what does it mean in practice? More and more problems with love system, no division of powers, ideological domination, conflict with standard in European Union. However, 80% of population is for European Union. For it was our great achievement. I never dream in my life that it will happen. And in 80s, it could be a fairy tale. We was very desperate in fighting for this. And now we see more and more hate again LGBT community, anti-Semitism without Jews. It is very strange, but it touches vision of historical past also. New version of Polish history, nationalism more and more, media and freedom of speech. It is hard to say how public television is no more public, but propaganda of government. Anti-abortional law last time, no right for legal abortion for women. Even the child is so ill that will die immediately. And even the pregnancy make danger for women's life.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, it happened. It is Poland. All is a little bit different. But we see more and more religion everywhere, and no laic state. And now, recently, we have a refugees crisis on our Belarusian border. It is a catastrophe from a point of view of human rights.
Excuse me, are you talking about Poland or are you talking about Turkey?
Yes, you
Because
are right. You
I
are
mean,
right.
the public support
Absolutely.
the allegedly public media has become a tool of the government.
Yeah,
Less and less democracy,
yeah,
misinformation, more religion, less secularism.
yeah,
And it is striking. It's a terrible wave
yeah,
world.
yeah. And now it is a refugees crisis from Belarusian frontiers. They try to come to European Union, not to Poland, but crossing Poland to Germany. But our frontier is UE frontier. And it is difficult because it is the same crises, like in Greece, like in Italy and other countries. But it is tragic history. Government try to stop all these people. This zone is closed even for journalists. Some journalists make research, and now they know that the majority of people coming to frontier, there are Kurdish from Iraq.
Mm.
There is a group from Afghanistan, a big group from Africa, from different states, and this this wave is organized by Belarusian agent. They are taken from Iraq directly to Minsk, and they push it to Europe. But at our frontier, soldiers take them back and back and back and back. Now we are in autumn. Sometimes it is zero. It is green space. It is forest, and there are people dying there. Some people are with children.
It's tragic.
Yes, it's absolutely tragic. But if you ask me what will be the biggest challenge for humanity, it will be ecology. Ecology, because how to stop degradation of the planet. It needs international collaboration. And yes. Now in this situation, we don't see any chance for international collaboration, because we as humanity need, for example, forest in Brazil, for climate, for planet.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and recently, one of my new friends, Yubanath Lamsal, he talked about the terrible situation in the Himalayas because of the climate change, and it is terrible. One of the Earth civilization dialogues. And yes, but thanks to COVID, we humans more and more, I think, realize that we are on the same planet, and there is nowhere to escape. And so we have to be more efficient in solidarity. By the way, saying solidarity, I was one of the supporters of solidarity as well. Yes, what, some 40 years ago, was it? Yes.
Yes, and I was in underground movement.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't talk too much about it because it was a dark moment of my life, of history, very dark.
Something interesting, my daughter, she studied at Oberlin College in the United States. And there, one day, both Jaruzelski
mm-hmm.
and the leader of the
of Solidarity, Lech Wałęsa.
Yes, exactly. Both of them were there, and my daughter listened to them. I wasn't there, but Jaruzelski tried to defend himself that by that coup, by that intervention, he had blocked the Soviet invasion.
It could be
Yeah, well, one of the things about the concept of democracy is that unless it is supported by serious economic reorganization, it usually helps, unfortunately, more the rich rather than the growing poor. So I am honestly in favor of a democratic socialism that can transcend capitalism. I mean, we have seen what didn't work in the Eastern Europe and in the Soviet bloc, but does it mean, honestly, I don't think capitalism is the ultimate, the best possible thing in human life. I hope we can transcend it, honestly. This is just my...
Yes, it is a problem because in Poland it was a change from a kind of socialism. It was just a name socialism. It was not a socialism. It was just a system established by after World War II by Soviet power. And we faced this change into capitalism, and capitalism was at the beginning promised land, really, and more and more we can buy cars and all what we want, but it is for nothing, because we know now that we face a very big crisis, and maybe the crisis is a chance for humanity to understand.
I agree with you. Yes, this crisis, we can turn it into a chance, hopefully. And that's why you actually in 2013, you also signed the Earth Civilization Declaration, right? Project Declaration. You were one of the signatories, one of our...
Yeah, and I have a quotation for us. It is a quotation from a poem by Czesław Miłosz, Nobel Prize Polish poet. A quotation from a poem written when he was almost desperate. And Polish text is: lawina bieg od tego zmienia, zależnie po jakich toczy się kamieniach. Avalanche change its way depending on stones on which is going down. And everyone is a stone. It is not a very big power, one
only one stone
person, only one person. But when we are stones, we can change.
Exactly. And Poland is rich in terms of arts, isn't it? By the way, what about opera? Is there a, what's the opera life in Poland?
Opera is
Grotowski. I recall Grotowski.
Yes.
Great. He was a...
Yes, he was a thinker and a very big person in theater. I just finished a biography of Polish playwright Sławomir Brożek. Maybe you heard. Emigrants is his work. By the way, other thing. Now we have 100 years anniversary of birth of Stanisław Lem. He was futurist, a thinker, great thinker. Naturally, he died in 2006, but author of Solaris, if you heard. Yes.
Oh, yes, Solaris.
Yes.
The film also.
And it took all his life thinking on future. And for this reason of anniversary of his birth, I read again all what he written of future. And even he was not able to guess, he have seen many problems. He can describe artificial intelligence and so on, but future, we don't know. We don't know how, in which proportion of problems we will face.
Exactly. And some people are pessimistic, some are optimistic. Recently, I've come to a point of neither pessimism nor optimism, but simply ethically trying to do my best. And no matter what the result will be, as long as I do what I have to do, what I think is right, let's say, then that's good enough for me. There is no certainty in success, but how else can we build a better world?
Yes, we are these separate stones.
Yes.
My idea would be create a new like idea of sin against community, against earth. What could be a sin? Use too much water, eat too much meat.
That's right. Yes, we need, in religious terms,
We
we need
need ethical level of all of this.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And how about the youth? Uh, what what would you like to say to the youngsters on our planet? What would you like to recommend? Oh, it's difficult to give advice, I know, but still, it's good to say a few things.
At this level, I'm quite optimistic. I have 3 daughters,
Oh,
and
one.
they attended a protest against new anti-abortion law. They know direction. They know what could be a democracy, and don't believe on propaganda. It is
Mm,
very, very important.
very good, very good. And um, do you have grandchildren?
Yes, two.
Oh, me too.
Two half Brazilian,
Oh, and my
mixed.
and mine are two half Austrian. It's good for world peace, intercultural children. Wow, and it's a different kind of love, isn't it? Really, it's a rebirth. It was a rebirth for me when I hugged my daughter first, and then my grandchildren afterwards. Rebirth and rebirth.
I am not very good grandmother because I have no time. I'm still working and working hard. Um,
Are they in the same
that's
city?
in the same city. Yes, yes.
Oh,
Now I am happy because they live in Brazil when my grandson was born. Um, I I I come to Brazil for a month, but now they decided to live in Poland.
I see. Well, I wish them the best. My daughter lived in Brazil for a year and she wrote a book about Rio in
Mm.
Turkish. Um, you live in Warsaw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It was rebuilt, as you mentioned to me in our correspondence. The basic buildings were rebuilt after the World War II, right?
Yes, it is a little bit different feeling when I go to Krakow, an old city, very historical, very nice. It reminds Florence or other Italian cities. Warsaw is completely different. I was born in Warsaw. I know the history. My father was born in Warsaw. I know traces. It is my city,
Oh,
very modern.
I see. I see.
And my last book, it is a book of poems about traveling in big city.
Oh, various cities? Is it wonderful, wonderful. Um, I can only read in English, unfortunately. Maybe some of them, you would translate some of them into English.
Sometimes when I ask the youngest daughter, she like translate and she
Very good.
translate.
Yes, excellent.
She's better in English than me. I am happy.
Mhm. Uh,
Uh, three daughters are better in English because for me English was I never learned this language. It just come from the war.
I see. Um, you speak Russian, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Russian is a language I'd love to learn, of course, honestly, very rich, interesting.
Yes, yes, yes. I regret very much that my daughters don't know any Russian because now young people learn only English, only Western side.
Mm, I see.
And in Poland, it is now a mix between Russian, Ukrainian. Many people from East, from Ukraine comes. And in my city, I hear Russian, Ukrainian, other languages.
Mhm, I see. Uh, what is the what is one of the projects you're working on now?
Now I just yesterday sent a new version of biography by Sławomir Mrożek.
Mhm.
Biography takes many work. It is very
Yes.
big work,
I
but
love biographies. Yeah,
I am quite happy.
very good.
Nothing bad happened to me. I was able to go to the end of this work when it is always when I am in the half of work of in half of the book,
Mhm.
I am afraid something will happen. It will disappear from my computer, or I will be not able to go to the
Oh,
end.
yes. And the nightmare of an author.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a nightmare of an author. And now I think go back to my writing,
Very good.
to artistic ideas.
Wonderful.
Uh, Naturally, lyrics for singing. Sometimes I read,
Mm,
I wrote.
very good.
But I have another idea to describe family past uh, in background of big history.
Mhm, mhm. I see. Uh, Anna, dear Anna Nasilowska, uh, a few more words, and then we'll say a comma, not a full stop, for this meeting. What else would you like to add? Is there anything you would like to add?
Have we missing? No, no, no. We didn't missing nothing. Maybe maybe that this pandemic time was for me very quiet. I need it. I profited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, honestly, people like us are luckier that Shakespeare wrote his poems thanks to a pandemic at that time.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to write for the stage,
Mm-hmm.
so what can I do? He asked himself and wrote poems, sonnets.
Yes, yes, yes. For me, it was exceptional because just before pandemic time, my mother died,
Oh,
and uh, no, but it was amazing that this time gave me opportunity to rest, to stay quiet,
yes,
to be back to myself and my creativity.
exactly. We need
Find a
that.
force in me.
Yeah, we need that. We need that. Thank you so much, dear
Thank
Anna.
you, Tariq.
We
It
are
was a
together.
pleasure to meet again,
Yes, for me as well.
even in space.
Yes. Well, this is the new space in a way, partly.
Yeah.
And we are together. We are together.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are
Thank
together.
you very much.
Dear Earthmates, we are grateful to Anna Nasilowska, and we are
Thank
together.
you.
Bye.